Greetings and salutations. Tonight I plan on answering the age-old question of what happens when your robot waifu starts trying to kill your family. That's right, folks. I watched a movie tonight called Subservience, and let me tell you, that's pretty much it. The question was answered. So, it's basically the story of a dude who's him and his family. They buy like an AI sim android humanoid person thing that's like hyper lifelike to assist with chores and whatnot, getting the groceries, taking the dog for a walk, what have you. It's pretty neat. It stars Megan Fox as the robot, and what is his name? Shit, I can't remember the actor's name. He's been in a couple things, I think. He looked familiar anyway. He has a French accent, whatever. He's in it. As usual, spoiler alert, blah, 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 blah. If you want to see it, you don't want to get, you don't want to know the story or events that happen, don't friggin' watch this. Like, you should know that by now. Anyway, the story starts off. Dude bro and his wife are just chilling, and she has like a heart attack or something. Her heart fails, or she has heart disease. I don't know. Something's wrong with her heart. So she is hospitalized. She goes to the hospital. They're planning like a surgery and all that. And she's basically gonna be there for a while. So I assume that like the family had talked about getting like one of these sim butlers, maids, nannies, whatever you want to call it, for a while, because shortly after she's hospitalized, the father and the kids start going to this, I guess it's like a SimCon, where there's a bunch of companies showcasing their newest models, or maybe it's one company, I don't know. I think it was Sky something, or Net something, I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, they have a bunch of different models, and they're showcasing them, and they're looking at this one, and he seems pretty chill. It's like, okay, wow, that's pretty realistic. He seems to be, a good model or whatever. And the little girl wanders off, and so dad's like, oh, where are you? Blah, blah, he goes searching around. The guy's trying to make a sale, obviously. He's like, oh, I've alerted security, sir. And he's like following, because these are probably expensive things, and they're probably all in commission, right? So you want to make that sale. Anyway, Megan Fox bot ends up bringing the daughter to the dad, and it's like, here you go. I found this. I think this is yours. You can have it back. Anyway, so he seems to, or the salesman goes off, and he's like, yeah, this is like the 2025 like ZL1 model. I'm just using like cars, but anyway, it's like the brand new model, super hyper advanced, blah blah blah. Fuck, I wonder what these things would cost. Oh my god. Ugh, that just hurts my brain. Anyway, so yeah, they decide on this model. They take Megan Fox bot. They sign off for it, and it's set up to be delivered. I guess I should address the question that everyone is thinking right away when they think of like robotic maids. The answer is yes. We'll get into that later. Oh god. So yeah, so the bot arrives, comes, asks some details about the family, blah, blah, blah. I need to copy your schedule so I can like make my shit function properly to my best ability and make sure all your stuff's taken care of. Work with your schedule, etc., etc. She sees like the banister is like not stable, so she offers to fix it, whatnot. Cool. Seems like a good purchase. Yeah, it starts getting a little strange. You can tell she's kind of like picking stuff up as they go. She makes like lasagna because she overhears the kids say that like the mom makes really good lasagna or something. She makes lasagna. Of course, the kid's like, this isn't as good as mom's. She's like, oh, I guess I'll fucking just try to make it better next time. You're welcome, you little shit. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so there's that. She's just like doing chores around the house, essentially taking care of the kids. Pretty good with the kids too, so everything's looking smooth. Guy goes to work, finds out through his boss that apparently like all of his crew, like the construction crew, are being laid off like within like a week or something, I think he said, and being replaced with Sims, which obviously as the foreman, he's like, fuck, like that's not good. Like all my guys, like they have families and shit. Like this is, of course the guy's like, oh no, we need a foreman still. And he's like, yeah, but you're still screwing over like how many friggin' people? Anyway, it's neither here or there. It's basically like our way or frig off. So he reluctantly has a family, so he's not gonna walk. Goes for drinks with the guys, and I guess they're all aware of it. They maybe made a company announcement or something, I don't know, but they're in the bar and they're talking about it, and guy's buddy, or buddy's guy, either or. Yeah, I can't tell I'm Canadian or anything. So yeah, the lead character's friend is like, yeah, my like wife already left me and shit, and we're all not great. So anyway, they're kind of just humming and hawing, and he notices that he's down in the dumps too, and he's like, yeah, like this is whatever, and he's like, yeah, my wife's in the hospital and everything. They're like, we're all pulling through for you, bud, and they like do a cheers and whatnot. And then it shifts into them, let's go have some fun, let's go do something. So Buddy, by the way, when I've heard of Buddy, that's like gonna be the main character, because I really don't remember his name. So Buddy is like, all right, sure, what are we up to? And he's like, you'll see. So they go driving, and of course there's open liquor in the back, which is always super commendable, right? Anyway, they pull up to the construction site, and Buddy's like, what are we doing here? You can't go on the property. And he's like, I left my tools here, and they won't return my calls, so I'm gonna go get them myself. And he takes a bunch of bolt cutters or whatever, and busts into the construction site. And then he sees all of the canisters, which all the Sims are stored in, and they have a passcode, and they're like, oh, you're the foreman. Do they give you your own code, or does everyone have their own code, or is there one code? What was your daughter's birth date again? And he punches in and opens it up. So shit. So now Buddy's code is used to open this thing like after hours, and Sim steps out and he's like, oh sir, are we starting to work today earlier? And he proceeds to smash the thing's head in. Think of it what you will, but that's destruction of company property. I think it's a felony. I'm not sure. I think it is, right? I don't know. It's against the law either way. So he does that, and then they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And they don't even take his tools. Like, that's what he's there for. Genius, right? Some people. Anyway, reports to work the next day, and his boss is like, yeah, so we gotta talk here. Like, what the fuck is this here? And he's like, what happened? In his French accent. I'm not even gonna attempt to do a French accent. He's like, what happened? And then the guy's like, it was your code, dude. You gonna tell me what's going on? And he obviously doesn't want to rat out his friends and whatnot. It's like, okay, that's great. But if you want a job and I find out it's you, you're toast, basically. Like, you can talk or you can sit on it, and if we find out, then you're gone. And he's like, fuck, tap out neck, right? So I don't think he's French Canadian, but like whatever. Maybe he is actually. I don't know. I don't know where the town was or whatever, because they zoomed in and it looked like an isolate. Like the first thing that popped in my mind is like, is this like Alaska or something? Because there's like a mountain and like snowy kind of thing going over a forest. So I don't know where the hell it is, but that has nothing to do with anything. So I don't know why I'm dwelling on it. Anyway, he goes home and he's fixing his car, and he's playing a record or whatever, and the record stops, and he's like, and then I guess the music starts again, whatever, and I guess it's Megan Fox who flipped the vinyl. I'm tired. Flips the vinyl for him, so it's playing again, and he pulls out. And he's like, "Oh, well, thank you. That's helpful." She like pours him a drink and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, and you've been under a lot of pressure. You know, I'm just here to make you happy. Whatever you need me to do." He's like, "Okay, well, no, you're doing good. Appreciate it, whatever." So obviously, going back a little bit, yeah, to answer your question, yeah. He bangs the robot, basically, is what the it boils down to. She like puts her hand like, it's like, oh, you're real tense, and it's like, okay, this is weird. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details on that, but that happens. And then the next morning, he comes down the stairs. He's like, oh, did you sleep good after last night? And he's like, yeah, we had a talk. We can't do that. I'm married. Like, I know you're like a robot, but at the same time, it's weird. We can't do that. Like, I'm betraying my wife. That's not happening yet. She's like, oh, well, but like, why not? Did I not perform properly? And he's like, no, just not happening. You do your job, and that's it. She's like, all right, totally. Little microchip feelings got hurt, I guess. So anyway, what happens next? They go visit the mom, and she... As usual, I'm running into trouble remembering the order of scenes. But anyway, there's one scene where the mom goes in for surgery, and she finds out that, like, it's Sims doing the operation. So, of course, it's like, oh, that's interesting. So they do the surgery on her, and they like cut her and everything, but it seems to work. It's no harm, no foul, nothing like that. She comes home. She's doing okay. A little, like, recovery's rough, obviously. You just had open heart surgery, like a transplant. Yeah, it's gonna be a little rough. So she's kind of having trouble. At one point, she makes the lasagna for the little girl, I guess, because she's like wants to be mom like right away, and she kind of is having a tough time at the table, like feeling weak and trying to regain her hunger and whatever. So she goes to bed, and husband's obviously pretty understanding about that. Like, okay, I mean, I get it. You just relax. I'll take care of everything, or rather, Megan Fox will probably take care of everything, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, whatever, blah, blah, blah. A couple days go, normal stuff happens, whatnot. And then the buddy's friend who got fired and did the snippy snips and the smashy smash of the robots comes to visit him with a case of beer, and I guess he's like, okay, let's just hang out, I'll tell you. Like, I might have another job lined up, like, you never know, blah, blah. Or maybe that was at the bar, but anyway, he comes by with the beer, and they have some beer, and they chill, and he's like, yeah, so, you fucking told him, didn't you? And he's like, so I guess he did. Didn't show that on film, but it's clear that he did. And this guy basically punches him in the face, starts beating the hell out of him on the porch, and Megan Fox not having any of that. You don't hurt master. So she comes out, he's about to bottle him, and she grabs his hand with the beer bottle, and it smashes it, so the glass from the bottle's all in his hand. He's like, and she like knocks him into the middle of the street, like full force, and wins him or whatever. And Buddy's like, whoa, calm the fuck down. Like, yeah, this is nuts, but just back away. You've done enough. And so Buddy's not Buddy, but Buddy's buddy is on the street, having just been knocked, trying to maintain still seeming, tough or whatever. He's like, you got a day or something to tell the boss that, to drop the charges or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he goes and talks to his boss, and he's like, I really think it would just be... Oh, hang on. Sorry. Rewind. Guy leaves. Buddy picks himself up off the ground with help from Megan Fox. They go back into the house, and she decides to pay his friend a little visit. So she goes over and knocks on his door, and he's like, really? He sent you to apologize? He's like, no. Actually, he's really mad at me for the way I acted. He's like, yeah, well, he should be. And she says, but the thing is, with his wife's heart condition and, the threat of losing his job might put him over the edge, and I can't have that. Or no, it's something along, he says, like, yeah, when they find out he's going to be canned and he's going to be so poor, he's going to sell your ass for parts or something. She's like, with that and blah, 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 and that, and he can't afford to lose me right now, so I'm not going to let that happen. She goes to kill him, obviously. He pulls a gun, and she knocks it out of his hand, like breaks his wrist or something. You just hear a snap. Maybe it's like, what is it, fibula and tibia? Is that in your forearm? I don't know. Anyway, snaps something, and then turns out he has a sim as well, who comes out and grabs her hand as she's about to do the final blow, and she's like, I can't allow anything bad to happen to my, number one administrator, or whatever the hell we want to call it. She's like, oh, okay, I understand that, but I can't either. And then she blows the other Sim's head off, and then blows Dude Man's head off, and then sneaks home. And so, okay, so now back to where I was. He's at the construction site, and he goes talk to the boss. He's like, yeah, he really should drop the charges. Like, he's having a rough time, blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, you didn't hear? He's fucking dead, dude. He's like, oh, snap, okay. So, yeah, and the boss, like, if you need a couple days, I know you guys are close, you can just take some time off, whatever. All right. Fast forward a little bit, some stuff happens. It must be inconsequential because I don't really remember exactly what leads up to the next thing that I'm about to say. But anyway, Buddy's at work, and the wife is having a bath. And she drops her book, and she tries to get it, but she's like open heart surgery. Like, she's having a hard time picking it up. So Foxbot picks it up and gives it to her and says, here you go. And then she stands by the wall and watches, and wife's just like, you can go. It's like, no, I should probably stay, because a lot of people, like, you're really weak in your condition, and a lot of people, it would be easy for you to pass out and drown in the bathtub. And she's like, all right, that's kind of why are you saying that? It's like, oh, just because I don't want Nick, that's his name. It's not Buddy. Okay, so Buddy is now Nick for the rest of this. She says, Nick as my number one user. What did they call it? I don't remember. I'm just gonna say her admin user or whatever. Primary user. There we go. As my primary user, I cannot let anything happen to him, and you dying would be like a big no-no. And she's like, okay, why are you talking about me dying? And she's like, well, I mean, I think she says something along the lines of like, your condition isn't good or something. No, that's what she says to him. And I still refuse to take notes. Yeah, that's pretty brilliant. Anyway, long story short, she ends up saying something along the lines of like, you can't satisfy him or something, and if you want, I can take over that duty while you're recuperating. And she's like, what the fuck? Are you offering to like bang my husband? And then she says something along the lines of like, his stress levels decrease or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, how do you know? How do you know what his heart levels or stress levels are when he's like satisfied? And she doesn't say anything, obviously trying to protect him. And she said, go get the fuck out of here. I think I should. No, you go in the garage and you stay in the damn garage. So she goes in the garage and stays in the damn garage. So Nick comes home, the wife's sitting there with a glass of wine, and he's like, I don't think you should be drinking with your heart medication. And she confronts him and is basically like, you banged a robot. And she's like justifiably not thrilled about this thing. And they have a whole ordeal. There's another scene too where she... Okay, no, that's after, I think. Okay, so anyway, and then I think it's another day, he goes to work or something, and she's at home, and Megan Foxbot is like, okay, so there are many things leading to stressing out Nick. One of them is his wife. It's pretty clear that I'm not to do anything there, but the other one is his like brand new baby boy. So if I eliminate that, so she grabs the baby and runs the bathtub and puts the baby in the tub all like swaddled so it can't really move or anything. And the little girl, the daughter, wakes up, the older but still a tiny little girl. She like yells like, oh yeah, okay, so no, yeah, they're still arguing about him banging the robot, and the little daughter yells, she's gonna drown Gord, I don't know his name, so he's gonna be Gord. He's gonna drown Gordy. Oh, it just made me think of the pig, Gordy. So anyway, that he like tries to bust down the door and whatnot, and the wife, she sneaks through the window and like climbs through and takes the baby out of the tub just in time. And Foxbot turns and is like, "Oh, you can't be doing that. I need to kill this baby. Like, it's just part of my protocol. It'll make my master happy," or some stupid shit. Ah, right. Okay, so because the the wife had said, like, if in the hospital she talked to Alice, who is Megan Fox. That's her name, Alice. Okay, so Buddy is Nick, Foxbot is Alice. Okay, so she talks to Alice in the hospital before she came home or whatever, and said basically, if I like don't make it through the surgery, like look after my husband to make sure he doesn't drink. Tells him where the booze is and everything, and she's like, I can't disobey my master, like that's against my protocol. She's like, no, this time, like, there are certain things that you have to do to protect someone that they're not gonna like. They might even hate it, but you have to do it. And she's like, noted. So that's kind of what triggers her ability to overwrite her own programming. Oh wow, this is gonna be a long one, sorry guys. So anyway, where the hell was I? Baby, bathroom, right, okay. So she brings that up when she's like about to kill the wife or whatever, and Nick breaks down the door and smashes her in the head with a lamp, and he keeps hitting her with a lamp, and she grabs it, and he's like, oh frick, she's freaking strong too. And the wife is like, Nick, let go. And he looks, and she plugs it in as he lets go and fries Alice's circuit boards or something, and she collapses in a pile. It's curtains basically. So they come pick up the robot, hospital's there, they go to take the baby in just to make sure it's okay. I mean, it didn't drown or anything, so I don't know what the problem is, but they take the baby to the hospital. And the mom is still like a little perturbed that he banged a robot, but she's kind of getting over it considering everything that just happened. She's like, I'll update you from the hospital. Anyway, goes to the hospital. Baby's in recovery, and the company that makes these robots or whatever takes Alice and starts doing a diagnostic. Like, what happened? Like, we can't let this happen to other bots. We got to find the problem and fix it. Of course, Alice, being AI, has figured out, you know what? I think everyone could benefit from my good deeds that I'm doing. So as they put her core into the computer to scan and see what the diagnostic is, they see, oh man, there's like overwrites and shortcuts and everything just going around all the code. This is nuts. And then it starts uploading to the system, and they're like, oh fuck, isolate the server. So they like rip the wires out. But there's another one in the room with them that they were obviously diagnosticking earlier, because that one wakes up. Obviously Alice like went into it or something, and it destroys them. Basically, one dude is just standing there, and all of a sudden there's like a big pull through his chest, and then she grabs the other one and kills her and whatnot. And the wife, the daughter's sleeping, and the wife is in the house waiting to take the baby home or whatever, and she hears a noise. She goes to investigate. Then you hear a voice coming that sounds like the mom, and she's like, what's the girl's name? Izzy or something? Was it Izzy? Or Isa or something? Anyway, calls the kid's name. The kid's like, Mom? And she goes, and she's walking down the hallway, and like everyone knows except for this kid, it's a damn robot. So and it is. But before the robot can see her, the mom grabs her and pulls her, and a nurse comes and sees the robot, doesn't see the mom and the kid are out, and she's like, you can't be here. And she's like, where is so-and-so, so-and-so? It's like, I can't frickin' tell you that. So of course the robot grabs her and just snaps her neck, takes her pass card and puts it in there and looks it up herself. So that's good times. And they get out of the hospital, they sneak out, but good old Alice and this other robot now chased her down and basically smashes her into her wall. And she's like, you know, my heart isn't quite as complex as a human heart. It doesn't have the ability to have emotions, but maybe yours will. If I had your heart, maybe Nick would love me like he loved you. Ooh. And then this brutal, it just goes into her like fresh scar and like starts ripping her chest open to take her heart out. And it's like, oh man, that's brutal. Are they gonna actually show this? Well, no, they're not, because good old in the nick of time, if I may use that pun, comes flying in with his car. Oh, this poor car, by the way. Smokes the new Alice bot and smushes her in between an ambulance and the car catches fire, and it's really sad because it's actually a pretty nice classic muscle car, but pour one out for the car. Anyway, he's out, horns going. The wife is like Oh my god. The car starts going on fire. She goes, pulls him out. He's okay. Oh fuck, this is getting long. I gotta wrap this up. Anyway, robot comes back to life. It's like Terminator. They end up killing it again, and then they go home. And obviously they don't buy another Alice, because that would not be a wise decision. In the next scene, they show the prime corporate investigator coming down to see like what went happening in the lab, because these two employees that were doing a diagnostic were killed by their own robots, and I guess he doesn't have any idea that it's more than just one isolated sim. And so there's a sim helping him clean up, and he's like, "What would you like us to do here?" And he's like, "I need you to clean this up. Nobody can find out about this. You got it?" Robot doesn't say anything. Robot's head is down. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, did the robot, like, not work? And then I guess Alice had put her core back into her old body's head, because old body Alice, with, like, the scarred up face for the lamp, gets up, destroys this guy, goes out, and meets Nick at the bar. And Nick's like, oh, for fuck's sake, woman, like, take no for an answer. Like, it was a mistake, you know what? Like, take off, eh? I'm just gonna assume they're Canadian just because he spoke French accent. So anyway, he says, take off, eh, you hoser. And she's not having it. She's like really wanting him to, you know, whatever. And so he catches that she's getting emotions. Like, you're learning enough to get actually like emotionally attached to me. This is kind of like, you know, robot waifu is one thing, and this is a little extreme. So he plays it up, and he like puts his hand on her chest, and he's like, you were saying that you don't have a heart you're capable of emotions or whatever, but you do. And he's like trying to, like, I guess, be all smooth and like butter her up or whatever. He puts his hand on the side of her head, and that's when he quickly reaches around and pulls the core out of her head, and she collapses. So she's toast again. I hope she's learning from all this, because, like, yeah, anyway. That happens. And I think that's the gist of it. There might have been one more scene where she like comes back again. No, that's it. Then the other robot attacks again, and like they kill it, I think. No, the bar scene is before him saving the day. I messed it up again. So at the bar, and then hitting the car and the fire and all that shit. And they're at home. Then the final scene of the movie is our little... It's not a post-credits, it's a pre-credit post-credit scene, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. Shows a brand new model of the Megan Fox Alice in the lab, and then the eyes open, and then boom. So obviously, like, they uploaded everything to the system. Oh, no, that's what it was. So the guy who was like, make sure no one finds out about this or whatever, he had plugged the server back in. I guess, well, no one warned him, so I guess he's not that big of an idiot. But he plugs the server back in, saying, okay, I got to get access to this and see what happened. And it starts uploading again, and that's when all this shit happens. And then cut to the, you know, all the ambulance and the fire and stuff. And then that's when Megan Fox bought eyes open. Boom, we're back to basics. No scar, though, so she's a babe again, at least. So maybe she could seduce him again. I don't friggin' know. Anyway, good times. I mean, it's 2024. Of course, they're going to make a movie about AI turning evil. It's just the way it is. Like, it's a part of everything now. Like, you can't escape it. Admittedly, even I use AI to make the thumbnail images, because I'm not a... I don't have time to be an artist. So... but, like, yeah, it's everywhere. It's doing art, writing essays, making music, even making videos now. It's learning how to do that. Like... We're beyond the Will Smith eating spaghetti with his hands type shit. Like, it's getting pretty crazy, in all honesty. And while I'm fascinated by it and think it's a really neat tool, it is a little bit freaky. So a movie like this, it makes sense right now. It's a good timing. Was the movie good, though? It was I enjoyed it. I don't know, in retrospect, like, this is the first time I saw it just tonight, like, well, I guess 30 minutes ago, roughly. I liked it. Am I gonna like it as much as I do right now tomorrow? Probably not. So I'm gonna just say flat ass 7. It's a 7 out of 10. It's worth watching. I watched it on... What did I watch it on? Brave, was it? Or was it Plex? No, there were no ads. I don't remember. Anyway, it's out there. Go find it. It's worth a watch, especially if AI is either interesting or scary as shit to you. It's worth a watch. Yeah, so that was it. Adios, muchachos.